Thank all of you for joining us here today and helping us get the word out about a very important announcement. And it's about the application period that is now open for the Agricultural Disaster Crop Loss Program. Since the General Assembly passed the Disaster Recovery Act of 2025 on March 19th, the governor signed the bill, and the department has been very quickly ironing out the details of the disaster relief program. And it's designed to put money in the farmers' pockets that went through such an atrocious year last year and help them restore their production capability and their lives. We've modeled this program after the Ag Disaster Program we oversaw in 2018, and that was due to Hurricane Florence. The General Assembly allocated nearly $311 million for crop losses in 2024. Of that amount, $200 million was designated for Western North Carolina crop losses with the Helene affected area, and the remaining $110 million plus will go to crop losses across the rest of the state. I think everybody knows that Hurricane Helene garnered the bulk of the disaster headlines in 2024, but our farmers also lost crops due to drought conditions, intense rains from Tropical Storm Debbie, an unnamed tropical event in southeastern North Carolina, drought, and then more heavy rain. This is a recipe for disaster, and when you get all of these things put together at one time, it's almost impossible to grow crops. All 100 North Carolina counties came under a secretarial or presidential disaster declaration last year, or was a contiguous county to a disaster. For that reason, farmers in all 100 counties that have verifiable losses will be eligible to apply for disaster assistance. Now, this sounds like a lot of money, but the total agricultural losses from crops, infrastructure, equipment losses across the state in 2024 was nearly $5 billion. So this is a very welcome start, meant to be a lifeline for farmers who are reeling from a disastrous 2024. But remember, it's just a fraction of the losses that our farmers have experienced. We're moving very quickly to roll out this program today because time is of the essence. The window for planting crops doesn't wait. So if farmers are planting now to grow this season, they're getting ready to do it right now. We've heard from a number of farmers who have said they would likely not be able to start the season without some form of disaster assistance. At a recent meeting of the National State Departments of Agriculture in Washington, D.C., other states that have experienced disasters were reporting that 25% of their growers would be unable to access loans without some sort of assurance of disaster assistance. And we in North Carolina are likely in the same boat. It's a very challenging time for farmers, and many of them are making hard decisions about the future. I'm going to talk a little bit about the program now and the details of this program. To apply for crop loss funds, farmers will need to go to our website, and that's www.ncagr.gov. They will access the online crop loan loss disaster program application. Is active today, along with the information on eligibility, program requirements, and some frequently asked questions. Now, there is a deadline to apply. That deadline is May 4th. As part of the eligibility requirement, farmers will need to have filled out a USDA Farm Agency Form 578 and have completed NC Sub W9 for the application. We also have activated our disaster assistance hotline, and it will operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. This number is 1-866-645-9403, and farmers can call in and get questions answered about the application and the program. We anticipate most crops that experience losses will be eligible, including specialty crops. We have a list of these crops that will be covered under this program on the website. For some farmers, they may not know the extent of the damage yet, and that would include things like nursery crops, fruit-bearing trees and bushes, and certain horticultural crops. In those cases, farmers may request a deadline, a deadline extension to June 18th, but they need to request that extension in the online application that is due May 4th. We know that there are a lot of urgent needs in Hurricane Helene, and I can't say how much I appreciate the legislature earmarking these timely funds in support of farmers and our local food supply. We remain strong in agriculture in the state. We're a $111 billion industry. So this little amount of money invested in agriculture is going to bring big returns. We must maintain our ability to feed ourselves, and farmers are who make that happen. As the population continues to grow, we're going to need all of our farmers focused on producing food and fiber to meet those demands. I'm hopeful these funds are going to be that shot in the arm for farmers and farms and build a bridge to the future. Agriculture is a very complex business, and the losses that we have seen affecting farmers affect every citizen in this state. We saw during the pandemic that how a hiccup in the food supply can empty the grocery shelves in the grocery stores. And this is one of those times if we don't put farmers back in business, and the food supply goes away. And on top of all the disasters we've seen, there are farmers that are going to have to make the decision. If they don't get help and they don't farm, then all probability their farmland is going to be developed. So we're going to lose that capability to produce this food forever. So this is why this is so important right now.